The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're planning for buying or selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on Real Estate House Party. And I have Tony V, Christine Hurley, and Rick Nazzaro all on nitros. This is going to be...
Oh, my God. I've been up for 3 days.
This is going to be interesting.
I can't wait for next month, Cocaine Day. You think I'm fun now.
Cocaine Day's your best,
Cocaine Day, clothing optional.
Zoom, zoom. Wow. That's going to be some open house, Christine. I'm telling you.
Show him your shirt.
Oh, it'll be open.
You got your espresso on.
Espresso yourself, people. I wore it in honor.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I thought that was very
Rick
nice.
Nazzaro has been reading that shirt for about 10 minutes now.
Well,
Yeah.
what'd I say?
What'd you say?
He said he hoped it said got milk.
I don't think he hoped that.
No.
You know what he said? He says he wishes it was in Braille.
Listen to you. But
listen.
And that's before the nitro.
Let's not forget the Me Too movement, you people.
That's right.
Let's remember what decade this is.
Yes.
the Me Too.
Me
That's
Too.
right.
You worry about you.
On a similar note, I got felt up yesterday by Pedro Martinez.
Did you?
Wow.
I did, and I gotta say I wasn't all that unhappy.
I wouldn't have been in. Did you really?
Yes, I did.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you want to
it was
explain
very
that,
good.
or just let the
No,
all
what,
right.
what else needs to be explained?
You've lost a little weight now. You're
And
attractive
all of a sudden-
to
And all,
everybody.
all the ex-athletes, all the Hall of
Yeah.
Famers are groping
we
you.
were-
Is that what's happening?
We were at a golf event together, and I got a little bit of an award for doing this thing for every once in a while, and I think he was a little jealous that I upstaged.
I think he might have been.
That, nice guy, but, when Pedro walks in the room, it's all about Pedro, and then I got this award, and he snuck up behind me and grabbed me right by my man breast.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Every golf tournament we do, someone's at you.
They love me.
The last
Mostly
one we
men,
did together,
though.
they pantsed you.
Yeah, I got the pantsed at
You got pantsed at a
I got
golf
pantsed
tournament
at a
that
thing.
You
we
still haven't gotten over that one,
Yeah.
you said,
Were
right?
they plaid?
No,
The
you can
pants?
never
No.
unsee that.
No. And I was.
Did you look?
I was commando. I was commando.
Yeah.
It wasn't like down to the underwear.
Let's just tell
No.
you, I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
You know what? I started a new movement, hashtag why not me.
Why not?
Now, imagine my
"Come on,
surprise.
Tony."
I just came from a bank appraisal.
Yeah.
and
That's going to be a little bit.
I get on 93, and how did this happen?
Trust me, Rick.
I know.
Trust me, Rick. This is going to be the best hour of your week.
Yeah.
All right? I'm telling you right now. All right?
I talk to attorneys typically.
Right.
You're talking to an attorney
been
right
no
now.
fun.
It's
no
like
fun.
diving into a pool and ended up in a tornado.
That's right. It's going to be a
Hang on.
fun ride.
We had one guest say that. He goes, that was like sitting out in the middle of a field on a chaise lounge with a tornado coming by,
Having no idea.
having no idea, and just having the head swirl around. So we should talk about the elephant in the room, though.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh.
We have
I thought we were
Is
talking
there-
about losing one. There's no need to start. This is not an intervention for anybody.
Well, that's
if
just
you're
mean.
comfortable with who you are,
That's just
be who
mean.
you are. That's what this is all about.
Now, should we talk about Kathy Holtshouser not being here?
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
she's on vacation.
Well, that's if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point,
Is she-
should we let her come back?
Where
or-
did you send her, Rick? Tell us.
Is she in the house of
all we
correction?
see in her office is a half-open box of wine in your honor,
Right.
and gone.
That's my girl. That's my girl. She left it. She
she
left
just
some?
left it and she's gone.
I have to say, I've had a few messages from Ronell,
Yeah.
which I knew
In my
Kathy
office.
was away.
Right.
Each day, Ronell sounds a little bit more over the edge.
Yes.
I'm thinking, Ronell, she's getting closer.
When's Kathy coming back?
Right. And Ronell's watching us right now. She is taking a break from it.
She's been great, though.
She's been great.
I got to say, yes.
And Ronell, once in a while, has the F-bombs going. But this week...
That's my girl.
Yeah, she's learned... Our office has learned a lot from you guys. I'll tell you
Yeah,
right now.
sure.
A lot of Tony V and Christine.
I like the
Yeah,
one you had
sure.
that used to call in all the time. Or what was the one you had, Kathy and I?
That she called in? Oh.
No, the one you had for a while. Or she wouldn't answer the phone.
Oh, we could... Yeah, the one... We were real busy at one point, so I literally ran up to White Hen Pantry and asked the cashier if she could come in the next day and answer phones. She goes, all right, I'll start that.
Did she bring gum at least?
Yeah.
So she works for the day, and the next day we get a call from the mother and says she's got to quit. I go, well, why is that? She goes, she didn't know she had to answer the phones.
Apparently she didn't call out either if the mother's calling, right? I mean, that's interesting.
I had this other one. I didn't think we'd transgress already there, but I had
What'd you think was going to happen? Be honest.
I thought it was all real estate today.
Look at this panel and say to yourself, what did you think was going to happen?
Anyway, I know.
Sure.
The notes are gone. So I had this one boyfriend call me on a Sunday and say, is Susan there? I hate to give out the real names, but, is Susan there? I go, no, she's not here. And then she goes, where is she? I'm thinking, I just ratted her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, maybe she's coming in a little late. And finally, about 5 minutes into this nonsensical conversation, he goes, what day is this? I go, well, it's Sunday. He goes, she doesn't work on Sundays, does she?
Wow.
Oh, we could go on and on about this show.
But the point I'd like to make about that story, Rick Carter answers the phone no matter when you call.
You call.
He's the,
And
listen,
let me say this.
Fantastic,
Yeah,
Christine.
let me say this at this moment.
Yeah.
That is the best answer to what day is this? Because there could be. I mean, I've been on the other end of that question. And if I had ever heard it's Sunday, you're fine, I'd go, oh, thank God.
I would do.
Right.
I would
Right.
do. Isn't that the worst, Tony? We were talking about that
Right.
too, Tony. You and I, the calendar screw ups.
You would never do
worst.
that.
Oh my God, I'm the worst. I never know. And Tony will.
No,
you wouldn't do that
I'm
either.
not the worst. I'm the worst, and you're right behind me.
I might be worse than you, though.
Okay, did you ever get this call? Hey, where are you? I'm on my couch watching the Cubs win the World Series. Where am I supposed to be? In Chicago at Zany's. I go, when? They go, in 20 minutes. I go, geez, I hope this game wraps up quick. I got a plane to
Did you
catch.
say I'm available?
Wide open.
I'm wide open.
Wide open.
So poor Christine, we horrified you last time you were supposed to be on the show, and I called you just to make sure you had the directions down pretty good. And
I felt so
she said,
bad.
Oh, hi Rick, how you doing? I go, well, I'm doing great. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I'm on the ski slopes right now.
We surprised the kids. Took them on a little vacation. And then as I'm talking, Rick, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Now I'm putting things together.
wait
Am
a
I
minute.
supposed to be somewhere?
Exactly. Yeah, Jimmy said to me like Sunday, what are we doing this week? I said, I'm wide open.
Wide open.
I got nothing. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, we could talk a while for some of our. Did I tell you about the one that left us? We shouldn't go down this road. She left me. We knew she was bad news, and she went to another company, worked at a couple other attorneys. She's now in jail in Orange for embezzling from one of the employees.
Yeah.
You got rid of her in just in time.
Just a nick of time.
You can smell trouble.
Can you finish that file first? And then I want you out of here.
Right.
Wow.
Answer the phone and then leave.
She's in jail.
Oh, we had this other one.
Hardcore.
I don't know where we're going to get this, but we're going to talk about your real estate life. But we had this girl, and literally what you hear about as a psychopath. She just, you know how sociopaths just kind of talk, and they really mean it?
Yes.
This is how this girl was.
She convinced herself she was
convinced
right.
everyone.
Yeah.
She came in one day with a Band-Aid on her leg and said, I got cancer. I'm sorry. It was bad.
Now, people that do that, not
shame
good people.
on them.
Not good people.
The next day, the Band-Aid was on the other leg. And I'm not making this up. Yeah, she was.
That cancer moves.
Well, it spreads.
It spreads. It does. Usually doesn't jump legs,
Right.
but it can spread. I've heard tell of those stories.
Rick, you might want to look into a new employment agency.
Yeah.
Sometime
Things aren't working.
soon.
This is,
Yeah.
You know, standing out
all
front
bad.
of Home Depot with a sign going, "I need temps." Probably not the best strategy.
No,
guessing.
but he got his grill put together, so it
that's all
worked
you
out.
need.
Well, like the guy
You
my
know.
daughter and I drove by a couple months ago, homeless vet. He was standing with the cardboard
Yeah,
sign,
yeah.
homeless vet, need work. And my daughter said, "How can a homeless vet be out of work?" She said, "He's the veterinarians. They're dying for veterinarians."
Everybody's got
Everybody
a dog.
needs a
Everyone,
veterinarian.
sure, of course.
I mean, how could he
Everyone's
possibly
got
be
a-
out of work?
Yeah.
Now, where are all your kids working now? Where are they?
Oh, God, I got the oldest one. She's still killing it at the Bertucci's. Making us prouder and prouder every
And
day.
those are closing by the minute, so has she been moving?
Exactly. She's
Yeah,
been
but
in a
as long as
tiny
they
panic.
as long as they have endless breadsticks, she's
That's
gonna
what-
have
there you
something
go.
to do.
And
It
she-
never
Oh, she does the
stops.
rolls?
She's the roll
She does
maker.
the roll
She's
maker,
roll-
yeah.
That's what. So she's
Never
not worried.
stops.
Yeah, they were bought out by Planet Hollywood.
Yeah,
Bought them out.
that's-
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So she was in a little
interesting.
panic for
You
a while,
had,
but
you had
she's
the best
doing
line
good.
on one of your shows. You saw my daughter and said, "What?" And you knew the.
Oh,
she
that's
goes-
Renee.
she goes,
When Renee passed the bar.
Renee, you passed the bar. Congratulations.
Yeah.
My daughter is
Yeah.
rolling.
My daughter is 26 years old, lives at home, and makes rolls for Bertucci's.
With her 52-year-old
With her
boyfriend in the
52
basement.
In the basement, yeah.
Wow.
Drying their weed with the Easy Bake Oven. Yeah, we're very proud of her.
Oh, that's proud. I can feel the
Oh,
pride.
the pride
Yes,
is amazing. It's
welling.
amazing.
All right, so where are the others?
My number 2 daughter, Libby, she lives at home with us. She's a school teacher. She teaches video production at the local high school. She
You have
does that
offspring
very
that
well.
teaches.
I do. It's like molding young minds. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
Scary. And then my number 3 daughter, Ryan, she lives in Manhattan. She goes to Fashion Institute. My number 4, ironically, my number 4 son, Joseph, swears into the Air
Oh,
Force
so you do know their
tonight.
names. You don't
I
identify
do.
them by
Oh,
numbers
he's
at all.
He's
Getting
going to
sworn
the
in
Air
today.
Force.
Really?
Getting sworn in
Nice.
today in Boston. We're leaving here and going there.
Really?
Yeah, he swears in today. Yeah, and he
Really?
leaves in August.
You excited
yes.
about that?
I'm not.
No.
I'm not excited. He's my favorite. Yeah. I don't want him to go.
Are you supposed to
I
say
send
that?
Oh, you
You're supposed to have a favorite?
If you do that, you tell them, and they all work a little harder.
So it's like a
right.
goal to shoot for.
Ex-
Here's my
ex-
favorite.
There's my favorite. This is the goal.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. So
All
Joe
right.
swears into the Air Force today.
Congratulations.
Thank you, honey. Yep, we're
Yeah.
proud of him. And then I have little Brendan. He's 16. He'll be home with us forever. He's not the brightest little bulb.
Well,
God bless
God
him. but-
bless the
Yeah,
special people.
exactly.
Is he
God
cute?
bless it. He's adorable. He's,
well, then-
and he's post vasectomy, so he is
Really?
He's
Wow.
a little. He's
Oh,
a
so
clinger. He's a fighter.
He's that 1%.
He
huh?
is that 1%. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
He got out. Yeah, and he's little too, so he's definitely 1%.
Oh yeah, he's a wiggler.
He's a wiggler. He's a wiggler. He's a dancer.
Oh, yeah.
He's a wiggler.
Oh, yeah. He
Yep.
wiggles.
Yep. He still has the mermaid tail.
Well.
What was Jimmy Hurley's theory on this? Didn't he have a theory?
Oh, he did have a theory. Well, at the time, I weighed like 270 pounds. Remember that story? So I remember when I got
can't imagine
pregnant. Well, it was bad. So when I got pregnant, he came home and I said, "I'm pregnant again." And he said, "Maybe it's not mine." I said, "Oh yeah, because they're all lining up to hit this." I said, "Look, moo." You're the only one sleeping with this right now, honey. I hate to break it to you.
You didn't need to go on Maury for that one.
No. Oh no. Oh no.
That was good.
Nope. We knew.
You knew.
We knew.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we just had a nice event with your daughter, who is actually going away to school
She's
too.
going to the new school in Manhattan, and we went to see Foreigner last week, the band. No, we went just harassing
to see
strangers,
foreigners.
which I can do every day in my neighborhood.
Yeah, you.
I live
Yeah.
right near the Bunk Hill Monument. I can harass them anytime I want. Hey, nice loaf of bread, Frenchie. Lose the beret. You're in America now. You know that. I do my Don Rickles up there. And but no, the band Foreigner, my daughter's chorus group, backed them up on "I Want to Know What Love Is."
That is amazing.
And
That was cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
it was cool. Ricky and I went, and
Yep.
my wife, kid. The only downside, and it sounded great, and it was a great concert. You forget Foreigner had a ton
they had a ton of
of
hits.
hits, hit after hit
Every
after hit.
every song.
And the only downside to the whole night was my wife looked at me. She goes, "If you take your shirt off one more time and swing it over your head, I'm leaving." And I'm serious. And I go, So much for my good time.
Kristen.
Every time I see your wife, she always starts it off with you. Can you just be normal tonight?
We're going to be in public. No. We're going to be in public. Could you not be you for about an hour and a half? I'll see what I can muster up. I give you 48 good minutes.
I saw him swirling his shirt there. The only downer part I thought that night, I thought it was a ton of energy.
Yeah, a lot of.
And then the
the preaching at the end.
The lead singer says, "All right, everyone, hug up with each other. Get rid of all your emotion."
It was one of those things. We're having this great
having a great
night.
time.
We're having a great night, and it's all high energy, and they're singing their hits, and people are singing and waving along. And then was it the encore he did this, or
Who's this,
was it
Lou
right
Graham?
towards the end?
Lou
Yes.
Graham?
Yeah, and he goes, "All right, now I know you all got troubles in your lives. I want you to."
I had no
reach-"
troubles
We're here
at
to
all.
forget them.
I go, dude, we were just having a great time.
Right.
And I want you to reach down into your heads and take all your darkness. And I go, we don't have any.
Buzzkill.
We're singing Jukebox Hero. What more can we do?
By the time he was done, we were all depressed.
You put your shirt back on.
Yeah, I
for
did.
that.
Shirt went back on.
This is what I said to my wife. I go,
Are
why
you
now?
kidding? Did he sing after that, or did he?
He did. He
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, but that will kill.
it was a downer.
That's
I know,
like
I
when-
know.
Even if he started off that way and then built from there, but that's not what you leave somebody with. That's Rockstar 101.
That's like when if we do a show and if we do a benefit as comics, if we do a benefit of something and they say, okay, we're going to have you go on at 8:00, but first we're going to do a half-hour video of the 92 horses that were killed in the barn.
Right. Or the sick baby video. Right. There's kids with tubes up their nose.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've done that where I'm walking up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the comedy of Tony V. Anybody want to strangle a puppy before I get started?
Yeah, exactly. That is comedy napalm. That's what that is.
Yes,
If you see a video camera, run.
That's what organizers just don't get it.
Oh,
They just don't
most
get it.
don't.
Yeah.
Most
You don't think so, huh?
No.
All right. Now, why is Rick here?
Rick's here to tell us what the new
Well-
what's the environment out there like in the real estate. I'm hearing a shift. Go ahead.
Starting to turn a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, it's still it's very active. It's still good, but the buyers, they're calming down a little bit. They're like, you know what? You've had me in this auction game for too long, and I'm not going to stand for it. So instead of 10, 12 offers on some houses, we're lucky if we get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Price is still pretty good, but it's a little harder to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know what, too, Christine? The inventory, I think a lot of people, they hear, oh, my neighbor got this much. Oh, this guy across the street. Too many people jumping on the bandwagon at one time. They're saying, this is the time.
Yep.
And the inventory, like in the town that I work in typically, went from 14 houses, which makes it hot,
Rick,
Right.
you can say what time.
to like 40 houses.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
So then it's like too
So
much.
it's almost now
Supply
too-
and demand.
Exactly.
Right.
Listen,
Yeah.
you little
And now we're
economist,
coming-
you.
Something on it. There's a lot going on up here.
Listen.
No, but you're right. It just seems like March, April, everyone finally.
Yeah, I mean, the spring typically is the time. This spring was out of control.
Right.
So we noticed the difference from that peak to now approaching July 4th. Things tend to
Oh, yeah,
slow
I
down.
would imagine around
Yeah.
then it would
Does
slow
anything
down.
ever sell in your neighborhood, Tone? I mean, I wouldn't think so.
Did your neighbor sell?
No, I think they
Tell,
might have
tell
taken,
Rick about that little listing price.
Yeah, they across the street from me, a few houses down, went on the market for $249, which I think was a little high. You know what I mean? And then
you know where he lives, right?
Yeah.
Monument
Yeah.
Ave,
Yeah.
Charlestown. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm telling
Tony's
everyone
got
that.
deep pockets. Yeah,
Yeah.
You just did it. You told
Yeah,
everyone.
on paper I look great.
Don't you?
In person, not so much.
That's what we say too.
Yeah.
Jimmy and I pulling up on my BMW.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
we almost look like we have a little money.
Yeah.
Little do they know we paid
but-
for it with WIC.
Yeah, but not. Save those up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on your powdered milk.
It is.
Yeah,
it
listen.
is too a staple. There's a cookie stuck in the cushions.
You've been waiting to use that one, haven't you?
Somewhere I don't know.
So how did that sell, Tony? Did you get it? Or
no.
did,
So I think they rethought it and pulled it back a little bit. Now
Yeah.
it's off the market. I think they decided not to move. But my neighborhood has become a place of like second and third homes. You know what I mean? These are really well-off people.
Yeah.
I heard someone in your neighborhood bought a house or condo just so they could get the parking
For the parking space.
across the street.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
and
are.
they rent out the house and
Exactly
keep the
right.
parking space.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy moly! You've
Yep.
never had me to your house.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Is that?
There's a reason for everything.
Come to think of it.
Not an oversight. Not an oversight. I'm just going to say this.
Well,
I love you, but there's
But you're not coming over. There's no need.
for
There's
that.
no need.
No, we have
No need.
plenty of fun without
No need
that.
for this socializing.
You guys got some
You
shows
got
coming
Skype.
up too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
we
you have
do.
some shows coming
we've
up
got,
together?
Yep, we've got some.
Not
got the
this. We usually
Cohasset.
do it at the very end. We're not ending. I'm just.
You're doing
I have
Cohasset.
a
I'm doing Hyannis.
Hyannis, we're doing the Boston Blowout shows.
Yep.
Christine's in Hyannis with us, and we're doing another one in Cohasset.
Yep.
So who's the Boston comedians you're going to have for that one?
Boston. It's not a very heavy lineup at all. Jimmy Dunn,
Yeah,
Steve
I was gonna
Sweeney, myself,
Lenny.
Clark,
Yeah.
Jared Freed, Don Gavin, Christine Hurley.
Does Don Gavin know how to get to the Cape?
No,
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Absolutely
We
not.
a couple of years ago we were doing something down the Cape. We were doing the Bavis Foundation.
Yeah.
This is a couple of years ago, and Jimmy and I were behind Don Gavin all the way to the venue. We just happened to be behind him. He went around the Rotary seven times.
Sure.
Jimmy said, "I better fall. I better." We're beeping. We're flashing our lights. Kept going.
We found out who the worst was of your group, though. Now, Artie.
Oh, Artie's the worst.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Artie.
Is
God
there
bless
any
him.
directions that
there's-
says?
right. One
ahead.
time he called me, and I'd given him turn-by-turn directions to the Borgata in Atlantic City, from his house to Atlantic City, turn by turn, exits, blah 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 blah. So you would think on the way back you would just reverse that and come home.
Right. Where'd he end up?
He calls me and he goes, "Should I have gone over the George Washington Bridge twice?" And I go, "Artie, there's never in the history of directions has it ever said go over a bridge and then turn around and go back on the same bridge." I go, "How does that make any sense in anybody's life?"
There's not many U-turns in directions, right?
Oh, he's the best.
But he's the best.
It's those brilliant ones that have
Yes,
a hard time
yes.
with basics.
Hey,
Yes.
I got a legitimate real estate question, believe it or not.
Go ahead.
You know, we're trying to sell my brother's house on the Cape.
That's right.
That's
And-
right.
are you asking? Is this for Christine? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's for Christine. If she gets this right,
I'm really
she
not
gets
sure.
she gets to come to my house.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, you're not having fun. Is that what you're saying?
I'm working
Christine,
hard at this. All right, let me concentrate.
Can you check the date for the Hyannis thing? We want to make sure you get
Let me
there.
concentrate.
All right, go ahead.
No, here's the question. So the market around here,
Yeah.
you know, North Shore, Greater Boston, South Shore even, you know, is pretty hot.
Yes.
But can the Cape be its own entity?
Completely.
Yes.
Yes, because the Cape, you have seasonal buyers, second home buyers, so it's a different climate on the Cape.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not as competitive.
It's not as competitive.
It's not as competitive. But when the Cape does well in a good economy, because people start to buy the second house,
Right.
Yeah.
when things are tough in the real estate market, the Cape is really feels
suffers.
it first.
They sell it first, yeah.
Yeah, because
You know,
Tony,
a lot
where
of people
down the
try
Cape?
to.
In Marston's Mills, just, you know, it's Barnstable.
Oh, Marston's Mills is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Because
It's
what's
not
happening?
a beach house, though.
Because what's been happening is so it's more of like a
It's
year-round.
a year-round house. It's in a development,
Yeah.
not a development,
so
but it's
the,
on
the
a nice,
market
quiet
for
street.
that kind of a house
Yeah.
on the Cape is probably 30%, year-round people.
Right.
So it's a much smaller pool of potential
I see.
buyers.
Can you
Yeah.
tell Tony how you do a CMA? How's that? I know we're all over the board today, but
Can you do they know from CMA
No.
with the
Go
Country
ahead.
Music Awards?
Yeah,
These are entertainment professionals.
I will tell you this, that I am in that downtrodden group of people who are second homeless. I've only got the one. And I think we're an overlooked population.
Rick, given the distance, can you just hug him for a minute? For the rest? 'Cause
Thank you
it's
for
not-
understanding,
Yeah, it's not
Rick. Thank
easy, Tony. No, really.
People don't understand.
It's happening everywhere.
I sometimes
It is.
sometimes stand at a corner with a sign that just says,
I am second homeless.
Need a second home. I can dance.
What a thing. Really. So I forget the question now, Christine.
What's a CMA?
Oh,
Right.
CMA is a comparative market analysis. So a potential seller will call us in to say, I'm thinking of selling. What are our first steps? The first step generally is to assess the market value of the property. So what we do is now years ago we used to do this whole torturous dog and pony flip charts.
PowerPoint.
Well, not even. We
Not
didn't
that,
have
man.
PowerPoint.
This goes back to flip cards.
Yeah, no, flip card, literally flip cards.
Yeah, sure.
Where we'd print out the listings of other houses.
You
and
must have hated that.
Well, we'd go and we'd sit in the dining room and
Yeah.
That is torturous.
It is. And meanwhile, the kids are screaming around you. I had a cat puke on my shoes.
Honey, that's worse than the full of brush.
No, really. And the
Oh,
cat's
my-
go, and I have to be like, oh, no, that's fine.
It's okay. They were only Italian.
Yeah,
shoes.
So, but now we can
I
do
had a
it sort of
parakeet
on.
attack me. We'll talk about that after yours. Yeah.
Now we can sort of do it online. We send the comp. So basically, I'm comparing the subject property to
Right.
other homes that we
In that
consider to
area.
be similar.
So when you say do online,
Well, I'm able to pull up the comparable houses and forward them off to their email.
Right.
See, before I used to print one picture with the description. Now they can see all the photos. They can see the interior, how it compares to their house.
Right.
And so it's quite complete, I think.
Okay.
Now, some people will. I'm sorry.
No.
Chris.
That's great. I was.
The
And
studio audience is pouring in.
This
right
is
now, so-
often, it is mobbed in here. It's often, depending on, people will sometimes like the price we give them, other times they don't. Most homeowners think their house,
is worth way more.
so I often get Rick, before you came, we looked on Zillow.
Yes.
Kill me right
Is
here.
that your favorite
Christine.
two-syllable
Oh, yeah,
word?
okay.
Yeah.
So, and they said I could get $1,300,000. I'm at $699, right?
Wow,
So
that's some ballpark.
Yeah. So now I have to defend this whole thing, but on the other side, sometimes I come in higher than Zillow. Those people go, that's
Where do I
Zillow.
sign?
No, they go, that's Zillow. They don't know what they're
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So it just depends on what
Exactly.
side of that equation you're on.
Yeah, but, we've been through this. Zillow admits that they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
By their own assessment, they're 30% off 50% of the
Right,
time.
right.
Absolutely.
Well, because they
Those
only
are-
use, when you think of it logically, they can only use limited information. They're not coming to your neighborhood. They're not stepping into your house. They're looking at square footage of the lot, square footage of the house.
And there's a lot more involved in it.
There's a lot
You're right,
more
like
involved.
the neighborhood and the
improvements that have been made.
Right.
They don't know this neighborhood versus this neighborhood. So there's a lot of, it's
Right.
just not accurate for
Right.
people to rely on.
our neighborhood we have right now, there's 48 houses in our neighborhood. It's like a little cul-de-sac, and nothing ever sells there. I think right now we have 4.
Selling?
Yeah.
On your
Nothing-
cul-de-sac?
Yeah. And
You ever
they're-
think it's-
They're
you think
trying
it's
to
you?
jump in.
Has that thought ever crossed your mind?
It's not your husband, because we love your husband.
we do. He's a saint.
He
God
is-
love him.
he is a
a
Now,
saint.
it's not one on either side of you and 2 across the street by chance.
we gotta get out of the city. And,
Quite-
oh no, not there. No, no.
Quite frankly, let me give you the.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, funny you should mention it, Tony. The proximity is 2 directly across the street, 1 2 houses down.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you been having a lot of raging parties lately?
They have been.
Because you guys went away for about 6.5 weeks,
Yeah, we were.
right?
I was gone. Jimmy was home, but I was.
Oh, Jimmy
gone.
was home. I thought he was out there with you.
But you know what happened? But there have been raging parties. My son's a senior in high school, so
Yeah,
he
of
had
course.
a couple. He had a couple of
Yeah.
rippers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
word got out there might have been breadsticks at your house.
I think so. I think
Was-
they know.
the daughter took home a couple.
I think that could have been it.
Yeah.
I
Was
think
Jimmy
that
there
could
for the
have
rages?
been- No, we came home. We came home for the rages, and we let it go on for a little while. Then there was a hole in my wall down cellar, and I said to Joe, "The party's over."
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling parents.
Yeah. you got to draw the line at
Yeah.
structural damage.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, that will be all.
Jimmy ever find you out in the front of the lawn?
Once, maybe. No.
Am I bringing up?
Can I tell what he did? Can I tell what 2 times? Can I tell what you did? The second time he found me on the lawn. Girlfriends, we had gone out for girls' night out, and friends brought me in. Were afraid to bring me in, so they left me on the lawn. and he woke all my kids
You're like
up.
Animal House. You know
I was
how they
like
brought her
Animal
home
House.
in
That's
the,
how
in the
it.
carriage
That's
and just
exactly
rang
how
the
I
bell
was.
and ran?
Hopefully, I hadn't been compromised, but I had, like she was. But I was on the front lawn, and he woke up all 5 kids and
What'd you
brought
say,
them
like she was?
downstairs. Yeah, she was compromised. Yeah, yeah.
That's what they call it.
But he woke up all 5 kids and brought them downstairs and brought them, and he said, "I want to show you what alcohol."
A teaching moment.
He used
True
it
story.
as
Teaching moment.
He did.
Yep,
He used it as a
live and
teaching
learn,
moment.
yeah.
He said, "I want you to look at your mother." Isn't that nice?
This is your
Classy.
mother.
It's kind of an after-school special
Yeah,
kind of
it
in the
was.
making.
It
Yeah.
was.
Now,
But I was most upset. I lost one of my. I had a beautiful pair of wedgies that I left with. I had one on, one gone.
Now, did your kids learn from it? Did they never
I think
drink
they
after
did.
that? Okay.
They
Yes,
half
yes
and
or
half,
no?
50-50.
Yes or no?
They're pretty good. They're pretty responsible.
Did you
actually.
learn from it though? Because it sounds like you had a second
Well,
time.
yeah. What was the
I
second
didn't
incident?
learn from it. Apparently, yeah. The second incident wasn't as good. Yeah, that was.
We'll save
the
that
second
for you.
incident.
We'll
That was
save
not.
that.
That was not a teaching
The second
moment.
incident was
that
not,
was a
'cause-
close the school
yeah,
moment.
That was I was not let in. Actually,
were
that
not
was,
let in,
I was
right.
not let in
That's-
that night. I had to
yeah.
wait for the sprinklers
Yeah.
to go on.
I've had a couple of.
That was not good.
I've had a couple of change the lock incidences in my life, so I'm not one to throw stones. Hey, my
So
key,
you-
Who
my
hasn't?
key doesn't work anymore. I know.
That's weird.
This is crazy.
Jeez, just 3 days ago when I left, it was fine.
So you've slept outside before
Oh,
too? Is
sure
that what
I
you're saying?
have.
And what do you call it, Tone? Oh, you didn't.
What's that?
What do you call it when you slept outside?
Camping. Not camping.
That's right. Not camping. That's
You gotta put a spin on it. Yeah. Was that you sleeping on the park bench? No,
I
it's
was
camping.
camping.
It's camping.
Out at Bunker Hill.
Yeah,
Is that what A lot of campers out at Bunker Hill.
They did it back then. It's a reenactment.
Oh, a reenactment.
Just think of it as a reenactment.
Well, I think we've learned a lot today on real estate. What do you
so
guys
too.
think?
I think so too.
Oh,
Well, you know what?
yes.
Thank
Honestly,
God Rick's here.
we snuck a lot in the middle of that.
We did.
Yeah.
I think we did very well.
CMA, we know CMA
We know
now.
CMA.
CMA.
Yeah.
CMA, and it's not the Country Music Awards.
Not
It's
at all.
No.
Comparative Market
Which are
Analysis.
on every other week, by the way.
Yes,
There's
they are
always
on
some
every other
country
week. For the
music.
love of
Yes.
God.
And we got to thank our studio audience
Oh,
today.
look at these.
Oh, man. it's
Thank you.
We got
Thank you.
hundreds of people. I
Thank
see
you.
Jimmy
Thank
Hurley
you.
working his way
Thank
out.
you for
coffee
the nitro.
guy.
Thank you for the
Yes,
coffee, the
salute.
nitro. Our
Rick
nitro
Nazzaro,
coffee.
Tony
Our
V,
little
and
coffee
Christine
muffin.
Hurley on
Cheers.
Nitro.
Cheers.
Never been done
Cheers.
before.
Fantastic.
Here at the
Thank you.
Studio 21
Fantastic.
Podcast Cafe. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
oh, that was good.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.